Someone just posted a video which shows the Australian Senator Fraser Anning um, being hit by an egg by a teenager, 17-year-old boy who was standing behind him. Now, the context of this is that Anning was giving a speech making an apology for controversial remarks he made blaming the Christchurch attack in New Zealand on immigration. Um, as if the Australian national thug white supremacist extremist who was actually responsible for this was irrelevant. Anyway, it was certainly an interesting video because, there's nothing new about politicians getting egged, but what was interesting about this is the young guy was kind of standing there and kind of looking passive, and then he gets a phone out and puts an egg on Anning's head. Anning turns around and actually strikes him. It reminded me of the John Prescott incident. The British Deputy Prime Minister John Prescott famously hit a farmer during protests back in the early 2000s. And the former Canadian Prime Minister Joan Creasy also was involved in a similar incident. But a few things I want to say about this. Firstly, the response was totally heavy handed. Five of Anning's security guys, I assume they were security guys or something to that effect, they actually pinned the young guy down. There's five grown men. I counted five, it could have been six, pinning down a teenager. Now, I understand that you can't just go around putting eggs on people that you don't like. Assault is assault. So the appropriate thing would have been to kind of detain him until the police arrived and let them deal with it. But to me, that was a very heavy handed approach. One of them said, I can't believe you just done that, mate. So my question is, well, what did he have the same approach? Did he say when Anning came out with his disgusting comments, I can't believe you just said that? Quite frankly, Australia does have a problem with racism. This is something that's emerged in the past in other controversial incidents. Doesn't mean that Australia is racist, but I think there's kind of a laddish culture there that is normalizes this sort of attitude. And don't get me wrong, Australia is a great nation. I love Australia, but I think Australians should be embarrassed by this guy. Fraser Anning is an absolute disgrace, and for him to have that sort of attitude when a compatriot from his country has committed the worst terrorist atrocity in a neighbouring country is absolutely repugnant. It would be the equivalent of if a British white supremacist went to, say, France or Belgium and shot up a mosque, and then a British politician said, oh, it's because of their immigration policies. It would pretty much be the equivalent of that. Anning also was mouthing off about, don't blame this on gun issues. But that's clearly been one of the aspects of this case. Anyway, I'll leave it there. I think the response was heavy-handed. I think Fraser Anning is disgusting, and I think that sort of populism is only fuels these terrorists. Sajid Javid has condemned him, as has many other people, and to be fair, as has Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison and most of Australia. So, but nevertheless, he has a base in Australia, just as far right politicians do wherever they emerge. So I don't think people should go around egging people they don't like, but frankly, I don't think many people are going to have much sympathy for Anning. I think the response was heavy-handed. Um, I'm not going to call the young guy a hero, but frankly, a lot of people are going to be saying, yeah, that's what he deserved. I mean, his comments were a crass insult to the 49 people who died and to the dozens more who were wounded, and an insult to the people of New Zealand in general. Australia should be ashamed of this idiot.